Dear Diary, being the charity case at Elite Prep Academy is like being a zebra in a lion's den, except the lions wear designer loafers and carry $5,000 handbags. My name is Riley. My clothes are thrifted, my shoes have been glued back together twice, and I ride the bus 2 hours every day just to get to school. Every day, the queen bee, Tiffany, reminds me exactly where I belong. Careful, Riley, she sneered today, intentionally spilling her $10 latte on my only good sweater. That stain probably costs more than your house. Oh wait, I forgot, you live in a trailer park, right? The whole hallway erupted in laughter. I just looked down and kept walking. My dad works 3 jobs as a janitor, a delivery driver, and a night watchman just so I can afford the books for this place. I can't let him down. But sometimes, Diary, I just want to disappear. Everything changed on a Tuesday. My dad came home looking exhausted as usual. He fell asleep in his chair, but he left his old, battered work briefcase open, something he never does. I went to close it, but a corner of a gold-embossed envelope caught my eye. I shouldn't have looked, but I did. Inside wasn't a janitor's schedule, it was a bank statement. My eyes nearly fell out of my head. The balance had more zeros than I'd ever seen in my life, and the name on the account, it wasn't just my dad's name, it was Arthur Sterling, CEO of Sterling Global. Sterling, as in the Sterling family that owns the school. I looked at my dad, snoring in his stained work shirt. Why was a billionaire pretending to be a janitor? And why was he letting me get bullied for being poor? I decided to play a game. If my dad wanted to keep a secret, fine, but I was going to use it. I found a black card in the back of the briefcase. I didn't spend a cent, but I took a photo of it. The next day at school, Tiffany tried to trip me in the cafeteria. I didn't fall. I leaned in and whispered, "Tiffany, your dad's company is currently being audited by Sterling Global. One phone call from the right person and your royal family goes bankrupt." She laughed in my face. "And who are you going to call?" "The local food bank." But then I showed her the photo of the black card on my phone. Her face went from pale to ghostly white in 3 seconds. For the next week, I became a ghost. I followed my dad after his janitor shift. He didn't go to another job. He went to a skyscraper downtown, changed into a $10,000 suit, and everyone bowed as he entered. He wasn't just a billionaire. He was the ghost CEO who had disappeared from the public eye years ago after my mom died. He was trying to protect me from the vultures of high society, but he was letting me drown in the process. The school's annual Founders Gala arrived. It's the event of the year where the main benefactor finally shows his face. Tiffany was bragging that her father was going to be named the new chairman. I showed up at the front gates in my thrifted hoodie. The guards tried to block me. "Move," I said, my voice cold, "or you're fired." I walked into the ballroom just as my dad, Arthur Sterling, stepped onto the stage. The room went silent. Tiffany's dad was bowing so low he nearly hit the floor. My dad started his speech. "I've spent the last 5 years teaching my daughter the value of hard work by living a simple life. But I've realized that while I was teaching her humility, this school was teaching her that wealth equals worth." He looked directly at me in the back of the room. "Riley, come up here." I unzipped my hoodie. Underneath, I was wearing a vintage silk dress I'd found in our old attic, the one my mom wore the night they met. I walked through the crowd of stunned socialites. Tiffany looked like she wanted to melt into the floor. From now on, my dad announced, the Sterling Scholarship will no longer be for charity. It will be the standard. And anyone found bullying a student for their background, regardless of their family's donations, will be expelled immediately, starting with the girl in the front row who thinks lattes make her a queen. Dear Diary, life is different now. We moved back into the Sterling estate, but I kept my old thrifted sweater. It reminds me of who I was when I had nothing and who stood by me. Shout out to my only real friend Leo, who didn't care that I rode the bus. Tiffany moved to a different school after her family lost their board seats. My dad and I finally had a long talk. He apologized for the experiment. And I told him he owes me about 5 years' worth of birthday presents. I'm still the same Riley. I still study hard and I still love the library. But now when I walk down the halls, people don't look through me, they see me, and more importantly, I finally see myself. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more diary episodes.